hello, beautiful people. Who's here with me this morning? What time is it? Okay, it's after 11:30, 11:31. Hello, beautiful people. Here I am, Carla Armour, your little voice on your shoulder there, saying hello to you this morning. This is Hump Day Live on Facebook, our Wednesday live. Some of you were complimenting me on my bright lipstick, so I thought I would be wearing bright lipstick today. Right. You know, I love lipstick. I never mentioned that to you guys before, but I absolutely love lipstick. I'm going to take off my glasses for a while. So while we wait for a few more people to join us, I had posted on Facebook a little bit of big up for my husband, the guy that I love so much. We've been together for so long. And obviously, some people have been together for like 60 years. We just went to a 60th anniversary of our aunt and uncle. And that was just beautiful to just see all that love and family and everything. So he came back from, I think it was Nairobi. He was in last because he was in Sierra Leone and then Ghana, yeah, and then Nairobi, well, Kenya. And so I said to him, so he said, oh my gosh, your post was very good for my ego. So I was like, oh well, good, that's what it was meant to be, right? And so I said, well, I really don't know what the hell I've done to deserve this, you know, so I don't know what. So you know what he answered me? Let me tell you something. I'm under some serious pressure now, okay? He said, forget about what you've done to deserve it. I want to know what you're going to do to deserve it. So I thought, excellent. Now I'm really under pressure. Anyway, that's just full of jokes. So let's just get started. Hump Day Live. What am I here to do? Let me just see who is on with me. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. I know some of you are on the other side of the ocean because I'm currently in the UK, in England. And so it's 11:30 for me here. And for some of you guys, you may be in Australia, you may be in South Africa, you may be in Namibia, you may be in Sierra Leone, you may be in lots of different places. I have been in Dominica, in the Caribbean, in Barbados, in New York, and all over the place. So I'm just saying hello or good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. And thank you so much for joining. And for those of you who are not watching now, it may be in the midnight. When you do watch this, hopefully you will watch it. So yes, guys, it's coming to the end of December, the end of 2019, the end of a decade. And I've been doing my Facebook group since October, and I'm quite happy with how people are asking me questions. A lot of people ask me questions on the side. Hi guys, hi Judy, hi Africa, hi everybody. And I always ask, you know, can I put it into the group? So I don't think it's I think it's a group for sharing. It's women. I think we maybe have 3 or 4 men on there, and they all have wives and are on because they know me. And I think it's great if you can share your questions as well publicly into the group, because that's what I had made the group for. Because so often with my clients, they ask me a question, and I always sort of, so if I'm in a group scenario, I would say, okay, well, let's share this with the group, okay, because maybe I'm in a group talk or a group coaching or group class, and then otherwise, if it's one-to-one, I like to hear what maybe they have spoken with their other network with, and what is the suggestions, and then obviously sometimes you have to go out and research something before you can have an answer. But I'm telling you, the whole reason that we live in communities and we live in the world with other people is so that we can get that feedback and that support. So I think it's always great to share those things out there. And especially in our time of life, for those of us who are over 50 in the group, some of us are under 50. And like I said to my younger friends, you can be fitter, stronger, and more flexible if you start before 50. But it's never too late to start. So what I'm saying is that it's all well and good that a lot of times in this time of our life, we have specific questions and specific issues that it's nice to share in this community. So guys, really place your comments. You can place your comments in the email below. You can hashtag fit strong flexible, and people looking for that, or if you want to hashtag maybe menopause or hashtag just flexibility, so that people can just search then hashtag flexibility, and all of these questions and comments will pop up at the top. So this is just a little bit of housekeeping and a welcome to today's session. I have a few things I wanted to cover, so I'm going to keep my glasses on just to make sure that I cover everything, because it's just a half an hour usually I say I'll be on for. But basically, guys, it's coming to the end of the year, and I have put quite a number of exercises onto the group so far. And when I looked through all of them, there are quite some beginner stuff, and there's stuff that builds on to others that I have put on before. So feel free to go back through. You can just go to where it says photos on the group, and then you will see all the photos and videos, and it's mostly videos anyway. It's a handful of maybe photos I have posted, but it's nothing wrong with you posting your stuff so that you can also help others. This is a community, guys. It's not just me talking to you guys. It's about you talking to me and you teaching me lots of stuff, because that's what life is all about. That's actually what I wanted to talk about today as well. So let's just quickly go through what I want to do, a little bit of a bird's eye view of what I wanted to cover here. What I wanted to say definitely is for us to look through the exercises that I've had already on there, to see how we can do something. And there's definitely enough to do until the end of the year. I will be posting a couple more. I'll be in studio tomorrow posting, hopefully filming some more. But I do want you all to understand that with the Pilates exercise, it's never stale. You know, you always, if you look at the post that I posted with the last exercise yesterday, it talks about the principles that I've really gone through the principles there. And it's all about identifying ways to get more precise with your movement, and more accurate, and more symmetrical, and more balanced. Don't rush through the exercises. Take your time, guys, because a lot of times you really need to identify first the proper recruitment pattern for the exercise. Ensure that you're stabilizing properly. I always say to people when I'm teaching in my classes, 85% of your Pilates exercise is actually your setup. So that you are starting from a proper alignment, that you are starting from a strong position, from a strong powerhouse, a strong core. And doesn't that just apply directly to life on a whole? Because on a whole, if we don't prepare and start from a good foundation, whether we are building a house, whether we are building a course, whether we are doing a job, that we have to have cooking a meal. You know, you can't be in the middle of cooking and then realize you don't have one of the ingredients and have to run out to a shop to get it. No, you have to prepare yourself, and everything in life is about preparation. I know a lot of life these days is very fast-paced, so sometimes we lose out the opportunity of actually having that preparation time because we're rushing into things. But you know, even if you do a 2-minute preparation or a 30-second clicking on, which I always say to myself is being at your core, just doing that connection with myself. I always say that, you know, say to my clients, are you centered? Are you really getting engaged to where you need to be? Were you at your, you know, feeling optimum? Are you feeling, yes, flexible, resilient, that you can have a plan A, plan B, plan C, just in case, no matter what. Are you ready? Then you move forward, you know. So sometimes it can just take a quick sort of a referencing, anchoring yourself and say, yes, let's move forward. So I just want to say, with your exercises, make sure you're in your proper alignment and everything, so that when you move forward with your exercises, it's really you're doing it as well as you can at your optimum level. Okay. I also wanted to talk a little bit about reviewing your year. I did speak about before I spoke about our hymns and logging what you're doing every day, and I think we can maybe touch on that today. But I really wanted to talk on looking at something what I call our pets, which is our past experiences, talents, and skills, and how we can use those pets that can to make our strong decision-making process. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about that because as I said to you, I am going to be touching into the book of joy again. I'm just going to touch on something there, and it's in the chapter actually called "You Are a Masterpiece in the Making." That is the chapter I am just touching into today. So guys, this is what I wanted to, and then after that I wanted to see if anybody was saying they needed any help with any exercises. I haven't gotten that yet, but maybe some of you guys. Hello from Dominica, yes, big up in Africa. And maybe you can send me any questions that you have and I could touch on them, and then we'll just do a quick re-energize and a recap. Okay, so that's what I wanted to touch on today. So yes, I think I already talked about our exercises, and moving forward with them, try to find the ones that are suitable for you. If you have injuries, you can always message me. And guys, you can listen to the exercise before you actually do it, maybe while you're cooking or something, because a lot of them in the videos I'm actually doing modifications to the exercises and explaining that you could either bend your leg, bend the top leg, the bottom leg. You can do it with your head staying down. You can just move one part of your body. So it doesn't mean that you have to do the whole exercise, but pretty much in every exercise I am giving you the modifications, okay? So feel comfortable with it. And what I also said is there is no pain in Pilates. So nothing should feel painful. It should feel that it's challenging, but not painful, okay? So I want you all to really try to use these exercises that I'm posting there. You would be surprised. It's actually quite time consuming to video them and then really make sure I'm doing it right for you, and then explaining them, and also writing it up. So I'm taking my time because I want everyone to really get the most that they can out of these exercises and get some benefit. It's coming to the end of the year, and I want to really make sure that you guys have gotten something out of these posts that I'm doing. And then if there's anything that you need help with, of course you can always email me. My email is at the bottom of the cover picture, as well as you can just message me here, of course. All right. So yes, I wanted to touch, as I said, in this book here, and they were just talking about emotions in the book, you know. So they were talking about being frustrated and having to get control of the emotions, and having to have no control about certain circumstances. And I know a lot of us have been dealing with that. We deal with that every day in life, but in particular, we have things that are happening around us. Tomorrow we have elections here in the UK, and obviously you don't always get what you want in life. But the thing is that the only thing that we have control of is ourselves and our emotions and our reactions. It's not always easy to have control of our emotions, because we have to do a daily practice of being in control, you know. So I just wanted to say to touch the hair on what they were saying, what the Desmond Tutu was saying in the book here. And he was saying that I used to feel very frustrated and angry when we would be rushing to a very important meeting, and we would be stuck in traffic because there was an accident up ahead. But then he learned to just use that opportunity to meditate or to pray, and maybe pray for the people that were in the accident, and thinking, wait, it's not just about me and where I'm going to, but it's about other things, you know. And he says, I think it takes time to learn to be laid back. He continued, you know, it's not something that just comes ready-made for you. No, one ought to feel annoyed with them. No one ought to feel annoyed with themselves. It just adds to the frustration. I mean, we are human beings, fallible human beings. And as the Dalai Lama points out, there was a time, I mean, we see him serene and calm, yet there were times when he too felt annoyed, and perhaps there still are times. It's like muscles that have to be exercised to be strong. Look at the analogy that he uses there. It is like muscles that have to be exercised to be strong. Sometimes we get too angry with ourselves, thinking that we ought to be perfect from the word go. Isn't that so true, you know? But this being on earth is a time for us to learn to be good, to learn to be more loving, to learn to be more compassionate. And you learn not theoretically. The Archbishop was pointing his index finger at his head. You learn when something happens that tests you. I just love that. Then he was pretending to be speaking as God might. He says, hello. And then I remembered, hello. He says, hello, you said you wanted to be more compassionate? Well, here you have an opportunity. Hello, you wanted to be a little bit more laid back? So he was just using that there. And then he continues, we get very angry with ourselves. And that's so true, eh? And we think we ought to be supermen and superwomen from the start. The Dalai Lama the Dalai Lama's serenity didn't come fully formed. It was through the practice of prayer and meditation that the gentleness and compassion grew. His being patient and accepting within reasonable limits. And you know, Desmond Tutu is always joking around, right? And really always has a sense of humor about him when he talks. The book is so full of his humor. Accepting circumstances as they are, because if there are circumstances that you cannot change, then it's no use beating your head against a brick wall. That just gives you a headache. This is a veil of growth and development. And it's very interesting because the gentleman that's writing the book, okay, Douglas Abrams, he said that I was struck by the phrase a veil of growth and development, which seemed to echo the famous Christian notion that life is a vale or valley of tears, from which we are freed only when we enter heaven. So I thought it would be interesting to touch on that. And he says about in Psalm 84. But before, let me finish what Desmond Tutu was saying. It's similar to how we learn how to be a parent. Yeah. So for those of us who are parents or grandparents, yeah, he says you learn how to react to a child who is really frustrating you. You can't just be losing your patience. And so often we lose the patience with our friends or with our spouses or with our friends, or we are impatient with grown-ups. And sometimes we have to look at them like, I guess, as Christians would say, as children of God, and that it's just another human being, that they have their opinion. And then he says, you are better with your third child than with your first child, which is so true. You develop the patience. And so I would say to everyone, you are made for perfection, but you are not yet perfect. You are a masterpiece in the making. I just thought that was so beautiful and so touching that I had to share that. I really had to share that. You are made for perfection because, you know, if we read the Bible or we read many wise words that have been printed, regardless of your religion, but there are many wise texts out there that talks about being put into the fire and being molded and melting. You know, we just had the earth tremors and earthquakes in the Atlantic that are affecting some of the islands of the Caribbean. And we just think about how volcanic the nature of these islands are, and that we can be also deep within our core. We have this burning within us that we can mold. Either we mold it to good or we mold it to negativity. And then we can, but we can choose. We can choose. And this is what this was saying. And then I just love how he said, he closed off that there. He said, you are made for perfection, but you are not yet perfect. You are a masterpiece in the making. And I just, when I read that, you know, sometimes I just go and I reread these chapters because they just are so strong. So I thought I would just touch into the psalm that Douglas Abrams mentioned, and it was Psalm 84, verse 6. And I would probably just touch on the verse above it and the verse below it, because it sort of gives it a little bit of context. And it says, blessed is the man whose strength is in you. he's talking about God, whose heart is set on pilgrimage. And he just spoke about pilgrimage here. Pilgrimage as in meditation, as in communion, as in waiting, as in silence, as in prayer, as in going deep within us, yeah? As they pass through the valley of Baca, which is what my Bible says, they make it a spring. The rain also covers it with pools. Boy, that is beautiful. They go from strength to strength. And that is beautiful because the valley of Baca is also, Baca means crying or tears. And so it is like the valley of tears. And I know some of us in 2019 have had a fabulous year. We have had a fabulous year. We have accomplished a lot. But you know something, guys? There is never success without trial. Without maybe some stumbling blocks, some hardships, some hard work to get to where we are at. And some of us haven't come through past that hard work and that hard trudge yet. We are still pushing forward, inching forward, inching forward, inching forward. And it's good. It's good because you know something, we have a saying in Dominica, hard work never kill a man, you know. But what I'm saying here is that it's a nice time to realize that through that valley, let it be a well. Let us collect the tears and let us look at these pools. Let these pools have the skin of the water be reflective pools. Pools that we can reflect into, you know, and the well that we can dip into for sustenance. You know, a good friend of mine told me once that unless you have that rasping feeling of pain, that you have that deep down cry. I know many of us have been through that you have a loss or something, and you have that deep crying in your soul, that you feel that your throat is dry and just scorched and rasping. Sometimes you cannot know how much you truly loved the one you've lost or how much you care for where you're going to unless you can identify this in your journey, you know. So I did want to touch on that book and just talk about a masterpiece in the making, whether it's physically, psychologically, emotionally, guys. And he talks about the muscles. So you even see that in Desmond Tutu's talking, he's actually talking about strengthening the muscle of the mind. We always use that analogy, the muscle. But this is the vessel. This is the vessel, guys, that we have here. And I say that should we not start with what is totally within our control? So if I am here, I can choose to stand up a few times. I can choose to walk around. I can choose to come back here. I can choose to get up a few times. Just like how when you are getting up at home, when you are making something to cook, you can do some deep breathing. You can do some arm raises. You can say, okay, today I haven't exercised. I look at that, so let me make my plan. Let me see what is it of somebody else's I'm putting on my list that I can take off. Because today is Wednesday, and if I haven't actually fitted in my exercise yesterday or Monday, boom, I have 3 more days before the end of the week, and let's put in Saturday as well, that I can do 3 times this week. I can still exercise. So let me not let today pass. It's the same thing, guys, with when you have to accomplish your stuff. So don't say, oh, I haven't, and feel bad about yourself. And as he said, beat yourself up and beat your head against the wall. No, why the hell, man? Just take it from now and move forward. So now I did say I wanted to talk about these pets, okay? And as we are facing the end of 2019 and a new decade, I think it's a really great time to look at what tools can we take as we move forward. And the tools I'm looking at here, I have this little format that I would give to a coaching client that I would have where we talk about our well-being and our total well-being. So we look at our pets. So our past experiences would be things that we have learned from and things that we have really aced. Okay, so imagine that you had something in your life. Okay, for instance, I'll give you an example. I've been wanting to do these live Facebooks posts for so long, you know, and I've been like, oh gosh, I won't be looking good, or oh, I won't know what to say, or what will I do with my hands? And then my husband said to me, but Carla, you used to host Good Morning Dominica live at Marpin and Dominica, so you've done this, and you were really good, and everybody used to call you and compliment that they liked your show. So why would you feel that you have to be so scared to do it? And can you imagine something so simple? And the thing is, I just thought, you know, something, sometimes you feel, who are you to say something? And yes, who am I to say something? But you know what? I can say what I want, and who chooses to listen can listen. Who chooses to give me feedback, which is what I love. I love the feedback. Well, guys, go ahead and give me that feedback, because it's all good. Yeah. So I'm just saying, what can you find that is a skill or a talent, something in your past experience that you have really done well? Maybe last week you did something and it didn't quite work because you didn't quite identify, how did I do it before? When I aced it before, oh yes, that's how I could take that. That's how I could take that experience and put it forward to now. That's how I could do this even better. You know something, I'm really talented at this, but let me just say, maybe I need to brush up on this skill. Maybe I just need to write about it a little bit more often into my journal and say, okay, that's how I can make it even better, so that I am really acing it. So I say the pets as in my past experiences, talents and skills, because you know, you always want to keep your pets close, and you always want to take care of your pets and nurture and nourish your pets, don't you? So it's like that. Your past experiences are these wells that you can dip from. Your talents and your skills are those things that you need to nurture to be able to call on them in the moment of joy, of triumph, of victory, of crisis, of trial, of tribulation, of challenge, and also when you need a solution. So I'm just touching on that as to say, let's look at how we can take a quick, say, time your clock, your phone. You can put the time on your phone, say 90 seconds, and put a sheet of paper, past experiences, talents, skills. And you can just list down past experiences, all your talents, all your skills. And then what I like to do is then I take a line and I can cross. So if I'm facing a certain scenario, I would put the challenge at the top. So I'm trying to find a solution for that, put the challenge at the top. And then I say, okay, these are my past experiences. These are my talents and my skills. And how do they cross over, and how do they cross-reference each other? Okay, for this solution, this is what best suits. And you'll be surprised, guys, how 9 times out of 10, I think 9.9 times out of 10, you will really find that that helps a lot, you know? So you can try that. I call that my pets, okay? So I will actually do that at the end of the video. I'll do a little note on the post to the video a little bit later, okay? Don't forget to drink your water, all right? And don't forget, guys, it's a good time now to review what you're doing towards the end of the year so that you can hold yourself to good practices. I would love it if you could look at your daily hymns. So you're looking at your hydration, okay? Your hydration, your daily hymns, your hydration, your movement, your nutrition, okay? And your sleep patterns. So you want to just check, how am I going with these things? Okay, every day make a little log of that. So let's see how we can close the week off really well. Probably what I could do is I could just put a little thing there for you all to log it onto. You can feel free to do that, or just fill it in and let me know how you're going. Because you know, one of the things that I wanted to touch on here on my notes is the network. I wanted to ask you guys, who do you have supporting you through your valleys? Okay, and even with something like your hymns, where you are looking at your hydration and your nutrition and your movement, who do you have? Do you have an exercise buddy who can support you? Do you have a log that you put in your water that you're drinking? Are you having meals with your family that you're all talking about how healthy you're eating, and then you're making sure everyone at home is eating healthy, so that you're not eating healthy but you're buying things in the fridge that are not healthy for you, but you think it's okay for your children to have it? Listen, I have had clients, okay, where sometimes I will go to their homes because we want to do a weight loss program, for instance, and I will go to your home and we'll go through the fridge and we'll go through the shopping list and see. Look, I'm not the kind of person that puts people into this hardship thing and you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. I say everything should make common sense. What are you doing here? What is the intention of eating this? Okay, all right. So what's your intention? Oh, well, it's a treat. Okay, so why do you have so much of it? Why don't you just buy it when you need that treat? Because, oh, well, then the children like it as well. I said, but it's not healthy. You just told me it's not healthy. Because usually the client will actually take out, I don't really usually have that, I'm sure if you go to your fridge and you think, okay, I'm showing somebody what I have in my fridge. Sometimes you may be doing that. Oh, I don't really use that. Oh, I just buy it often. Oh, it's just for the kids. But think about it, guys. If it's not good for you, why would it be good for your children, people? You have to think about that, okay? Because we have to set our children up to good habits. Right now I'm fighting with my son over watching videos. So every time I tell him, oh, stop watching videos on your phone, or I'm watching something about math, or I'm watching something about science, but then when we go back and we sit together and we scroll through the history of his YouTube, you can see, well, what is the percentage? Let's do a little graph then. Let's do some math and see what it is. So it's nice to have a log for your children as well. And then you identify ways that you can improve, okay? So yes, it's time for me to end, because I always say I'm doing a half an hour because I don't want to keep you all too long. I know that some of you are in the car, some of you might be rushing out the house, some of you might be at work and you can't take a whole hour or anything. And so I usually say half an hour on. So it's now on 32 minutes that I've been on. So I just wanted to close off by asking you what you need help with. Identify what you need help with. Reach out to the group here, what you might need help with. You can reach out to me privately and see what we can do. Or you can reach out to your community to see how you can support each other. There may just be someone in your community, guys, who needs a little support, who needs a partner, who needs a companion, who needs a buddy to accomplish some challenge that they're facing, and a challenge that may complement your challenge. Who knows? But we never know unless we communicate. And that is the beautiful thing about life. We are made with a beautiful mouth. We are made with beautiful ears. I mean, when I think about how beautifully made we are, Lord Jesus, I just have to say, every time I put my feet on the ground in the morning, and I thank God that there are people in hospital that cannot breathe on their own. And here I am waking up to a breathing, moving, thinking being. And so many of us take that for granted. Guys, so many times we just need to say thank you. Stop and say thank you. And touch somebody next to us and say thank you for you too. That I have you as a companion, you as a neighbor, you as a friend, you as just somebody in the street that I can say hello to, I can smile at, and you can smile back. You can get a reaction, so it's nice to have that. So I just want to say, find out what you need help with, identify that, reach out. And then also I come back to again, we are here on our Fit, Strong and Flexible over 50 group. You don't have to be over 50 to start applying the Fit, Strong and Flexible. You can be over 85, over 95. You can join us. You can always say, what can I do to make myself more fit? Not just fit as in fit in your body, fit in your mind, fit in your emotions, fit for purpose, fit for the job at hand. Am I strong? Am I strong enough to see this task through to the end? Am I strong in my body so that when I start this task, I am strong? Am I strong enough to withstand what I am going to face today? Have I strengthened myself? Okay? And then am I flexible? Can I reach to the limit that I need to reach? Can I be flexible enough to not have aches and pains in my body? Have I stretched today? Have I put my foot out in the bath and really reached down and scrubbed my toes and thanked God for my 10 toes, or how many toes you have, or you might have lost some toes and you realize how thankful you are for those that you have left. I've been nursing a little toe that I think I've broken, and I can tell you something, when you can't use all 10 toes, it's a hell of a thing. But so just being flexible. But are we flexible? Do we have a plan A and a plan B and a plan C? Because in life, you cannot control those around you, and you cannot control certain things in your circumstances, in your environment. So you have to be resilient. You have to be flexible so that no matter what comes up at you, you don't feel like as if you're just losing your grounding. You have to come from a strong core, okay? So think of yourself having that strong internal core, physically, emotionally, intellectually, psychologically, that you are strong, you are fit, strong and flexible to face the rest of your week and the rest of 2019. And I'm preparing myself for how am I going to face the new decade and 2020 to start with. So guys, thank you so much for those of you joining. Thank you so much of those of you who will be watching afterwards. I hope it will bring some morsel of wisdom or anything, any sort of thing you can take away from it, even if it's one word. Go down, scroll down onto our group and look up for our exercises. Do some exercises. Move every day, guys. Even if it's 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, move every day, 2-3 times a day. Make every movement count, okay, guys? So this is me, Carla Armour, your little mindset and movement coach on your shoulder, telling you to stay fit, strong and flexible today and for the rest of the week. And I'll see you guys again next week on our hump day, but I will definitely be seeing you guys in a video later on this week as well. So thanks again for joining me, and over and out.